Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. So right now, silver is reaching historical levels of growing demand. The demand is skyrocketing. Everyone wants a piece of gold and silver to protect themselves from COVID-19. But with the demand so high, we see threatening levels or sales because the supply is so depleted. There is no silver anywhere. So this article from Kitco is talking about, can surging demand for gold and silver last? COVID-19 lockdowns threaten sales and prices. We're seeing these extremely high premiums on gold and silver because the supply just simply cannot meet the demand. So the COVID-19 panic triggered a resurgence of physical gold and silver buying. But can this surge in sales last as mints refineries across the country are temporarily shutting down production in an attempt to fight the spread of the virus? It's a good question. U.S. Mint ran out of silver eagles, which is rarely happens. We saw the Royal Canadian Mint shut down for 2 weeks. Things are getting crazy. And you got to think about not only that, but the miners, the people that are digging up gold and silver out of the ground, are on pause as well. So there's no silver being produced at all, but there's all this silver being bought. So what is that going to do to prices? As gold and silver prices plunged, along with equities about 2 weeks ago, many investors started to take advantage of lower prices to replenish their precious metals stashes. COVID-19 panic also helped with demand, as a possibility of a deep recession encouraged more buying. A recession is definitely more than likely going to happen. I mean, we're just spending too much money that we cannot afford, and things are going to get interesting, to say the least. Retail interest rates in silver, and to a lesser extent, gold, picked up very strongly last week. So physical silver demand is seeing a massive resurgence on lower prices. Silver is taking one of the biggest long-term hits in prices across the whole sector, she wrote. This very sharp fall has brought the retail purchasers out in droves. People are going everywhere to any lengths to buy silver. If you are going to be buying online, be extremely careful. You don't want to fall victim to the premiums. I recommend going to your local coin shop. So increased buying is seen both in Asia and North America, American markets, with mints and precious metal stores saying that they're running low on inventory. And there's even the people that need to buy it, to sell it. They're having these back orders because of shipping delays. So coin and bar sales have been picking up very strongly, and there's been a big resurgence in silver demand in India, which is the world's largest silver consumer, typically with 20% of the global market share of jewelry, silverware, and bars, and retail investment, actually, O'Connell said. So the U.S. Mint reported silver sales of 4.83 million ounces so far in March. This is nearly 4 times more than last year's monthly average of 1.24 million ounces. So we're 4 times over the limit, so you can see why people are running out so easily. The U.S. Mint's coins showed 230,000 ounces of U.S. Eagles sold so far in March versus last year's monthly average of only 12,000. So you can see there's a huge surge. So you can see right here, here's a chart. U.S. Eagles approximately spend gold, silver in millions, and gold Eagles in tonnage. So you can just see how things are just skyrocketing upwards. So this is a big welcome sign that investors are prepared to come into the market and bargain hunt, and that markets have not completely ground to a halt. But O'Connell warns this hyperactivity might not last as shutdowns of stores, refineries treat precious metal businesses across the globe. See, when the supply cannot meet the demand, something very interesting is going to happen. We're definitely going to see a very dangerous situation occur, where precious metals prices are basically up in the air. The sky is the limit. So lockdowns mean that it may not last. It is unlikely that this massive pace can continue for an extended period. That's what I'm trying to get to, is when the supply cannot meet the demand, that's when we're going to see the highly potential silver prices, for the sky is the limit, especially given the state of the Mumbai Bazaar, for example, she wrote. India is in total lockdown, and at a grassroots level, Singapore is similar to Dubai and India. So most of the stores in India will remain closed, at least for the rest of the week. Mumbai's Zavier's Bazaar, which is the largest bullion market in India, was closed until further notice. Also, Titan Co., India's biggest jewelry by market value, has shut its doors until March 29th. The lockdowns in India could lead to the lowest gold sales in 25 years. Total sales could drop by as much as 30% in 2020, down 690 tons reported last year. And that's going to be interesting because we see this massive demand growing. New money's coming in. Not only that, not only is the new money coming in, but silver stackers, precious metals investors are buying more to try to get in at a lower position, since, you can lower your dollar per ounce average, and these premiums are going to be going through the roof because the people that own it, the producers, are going to turn into the consumers, and the consumers are going to turn into the producers. I always talked about that one event that just has to throw things off the edge, put the icing on the cake. I didn't know if it was the 2020 presidential election, but turns out it's COVID-19. It's going to throw us into a recession and also make these silver and gold prices through the roof. So last year itself was a very bad year after July, and this year we have already lost this month. April's going to be the same, with May and June also expected to be weak. On top of that, the recent shutdown of 3 major gold refineries in Switzerland had a knockoff on affect prices on Tuesday. So things are just all looking towards higher prices. As you can see, 3 refineries in the region process 1,500 tons, 48 million ounces of gold per year, equivalent to 43% of the global annual supply. And refiners shutting down is something rarely seen, not in a war or the greater financial crisis. In addition, how quickly it's happened had taken the market by surprise. See, people are off guard about this, thrown out of left field. So I'm really interested to see, where COVID-19 is going to take this, because the worst part about it is we don't know to what extent things are going to go. We don't know if it's going to get worse or better. And the longer this drags on, the more potential it's going to be giving precious metals. The longer this drags on, the more chance silver has of reaching that $50 mark again. I mean, we look at the 2008 credit crisis, and we look at silver in the 80s as well. Both times silver hit $50. There was very similar situations to this, so why wouldn't it happen again, especially with things more severe, as there wasn't a global pandemic going on in 2011. It was really just stock market volatility and the recession looming, or the credit crash, and things are definitely to a much more severe extents now. So we received a number of questions yesterday about the physical tightness in the gold market that caused a significant differential between the COMEX and gold futures on the OTC price. This was a knockoff on effect from the shutdown of the Ticino refiners in Switzerland, which has limited ability to produce appropriate weight bars for good delivery against near-dated positions on the COMEX. So, I'm definitely thinking right now that the players in the game are the banks, the Federal Reserve, and the investors. Speculation can take it so far, can take a market so far, but then it comes down to the numbers. And I think we're finally getting down to some numbers and what's really going to be showing, exposing the truth, what's real value. The dollar is lost, the dollar's gone, the dollar's trash, but gold and silver have this intrinsic value, and that is really where things are going to be showing for the longer term. You got to think about long-term perspective. Obviously, you can make some money, a quick buck here and there, but what is that going to take you for the longer term, for your future? The dollar's losing its purchasing power. The dollar's lost 98% of its purchasing power, over time, and it's only getting worse due to hyperinflation. So if the dollar's gone, then what are you doing? What steps are you taking? What necessary steps are you taking to protect your portfolio, your hard-earned money from this? That's why stock markets can't last, because they're pegged to the dollar. That's why the only alternative is precious metals. And I use the word alternative, not solution, because there is no solution. The dollar, there's nothing that's going to replace or fix the dollar. It's going to crash, and there's no way we can fix this. Not boosting interest rates, not anything, because we're too far in the hole. So the only thing we can do is invest into gold and silver and store our value into something that holds its value and has been held its value for over 6,000 years. So just to recap a little bit, supply and demand is getting very scarce, and things are going to get interesting. U.S. Mint sold out of Eagles. The Royal Canadian Mint shut down for 2 weeks. Refineries are getting shut down. Things are getting to extremely low numbers, and it's going to be interesting for precious metals. I'm curious what you think about this article. Where do you think prices are going to go? Do you think this is looking very bullish for gold and silver? Right now we see gold at $1,635. We see silver at $14.48, almost at that $15 range, but it looks like it might be pulling it back a little bit. We see platinum at $728, down $8, and palladium at $2,241. Might be a small correction as it rallied pretty high up from that $11 range up to almost $15. It might be a small pullback, but it looks like things are still going upwards and we're still in a bullish market. So anyways, make sure you smash that like button. Also make sure you subscribe if you're new, because I do post daily videos. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.